are live. Here we go. 12 o'clock, high noon, 12 o'clock on Hump Day, Wednesday. Thank you guys for joining us today. If you're watching live, awesome. I hope you grabbed a sandwich or grabbed something. We just ate pizza. So you can see since last week, actually not even last week, since last Thursday, we've had a lot of movement, man.
Yeah.
A lot of folks liked the show. We had a great response to the show. So much so that we're actually paying a few bills with various things. So anyway, want to welcome you to Down East Prep Report with Chris Millers. My name is Steve Goodson. I'm your host. And probably more importantly than you and me, Kendric Burney is with us. We'll talk with more about Kendric with Kendric in a little while. And we want to thank Marine Federal Credit Union, who is the sponsor of our show as a whole. And then as we go through the show, you'll know who else is sponsors because we're giving them some love. So anyway, so we'll start by recapping what happened last week. Exciting opening week of football. Some upsets or just some good games, and we'll get Chris to break down some of that, and then we'll get his thoughts and Kendrick's thoughts about the picks for this coming week. And again, we're going to talk with Kendric, just an outstanding Onslow County athlete. Everybody knows him for his accolades in football, but quite a basketball player in high school, and actually dual sported up at Carolina for a year or two, I think, playing baseball. So we'll talk to Kendric Burney when we're done, but we're going to jump right in to last week's recap.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk first about we've got a player of the week, right? Okay. So the player of the week. So I went off camera. You didn't see it. I just knocked the mic over. So anyway, so our Down East Heating and Air Conditioning Player of the Week is Northside High School sophomore Reginald Gray. He was the quarterback. Northside 35, White Oak 16, and Reginald spearheaded that. 11 for 14 passing for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns, 8 carries for 63 yards and 2 touchdowns. So my Onslow County math tells me that's 221 total yards with 4 touchdowns. Thoughts?
And he's a sophomore. He's a young guy. So a pretty big stage to take on the Oak and lead Northside to a big victory. And I think those guys are pretty excited. And we'll be interested to see how they do Friday against Jacksonville. But very impressive by the Monarchs.
Do you know the kid? Do you know him?
Don't know him personally. Been watching him a little bit. Very good athlete.
Okay.
Showed a lot of poise in that game. With it being a rivalry game, I mean, around here, passing don't come too often. So, regardless whether they're short passes or not, 11 for 14. That's pretty good odds. Saying you're going to win the football game around here if you can. Pretty much, you compete 5 passes in
yeah, exactly. We talked about that last week. Yeah.
Congrats to that young man and to the Northside program.
And he's a sophomore. So is he 15? He probably just turned 16, maybe 15.
Probably just 16. And,
wow.
But the thing about Northside is they're young in terms of grades, but a lot of these sophomores and juniors have a lot of varsity experience since they were freshmen, and they took their lumps against some of those Havelocks and Burns, Jacksonville. So they're battle tested. They were kind of thrown into the fire at a young age. So it's gonna be fun to see how those guys develop. Against with the playing field being even.
Yeah. Well, this is the first plug for our sponsor. So Down East Heating and Air Conditioning, they're sponsoring our Player of the Week. Down East Heating and Air Conditioning, a family tradition of quality since 1986, with locations in Jacksonville, Wilmington, and North Myrtle Beach / Longs area. Down East is the #1 Bryant dealer of the Carolinas, whether it's your home, office, garage, man cave, and yes, even a basement. Down East has the perfect systems to help you stay comfortable during this football season. Head over to downeasteating.com and let Down East put their talents to work for you.
And shout out to Down East because they have a very catchy radio commercial.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. I'm not going to sing it because I can't sing
You're not going to sing it for me? All right. So that was the the player of the week. We'll be doing that each week, and much like Marine Federal sponsoring the show, Down East has graciously agreed to sponsor the player of the week. It might be a performance of the week. We were talking off air before we started about. Was it a kid? I missed it, where he was at school. Was he in Southwest or Richlands? A linebacker that had a lot of tackles. Yeah. So that was. And when I was looking at some of the stuff, the kid from the Croatan quarterback threw for 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Man, we got some down home cooking with Northside. Not that this kid didn't deserve it, obviously, but yeah. But anyway, so So anyway, well, let's go back to the rest of the recap. So we're going to go to the rest of the recaps, and I'm going to pull this up real quick so you guys can see exactly what's happening. All right, so week 1 recap. We had North Side, of course, 35, White Oak 16, Richlands 18, Southwest 6. Comments?
Well, first of all, I think the first thing that stands out is their kicker Benton had 4 field goals.
I mean, and kicked every last one of them good.
Yeah, no, and I joked with Southwest coach Zach Garvey after the game. I said, "Look, you gave up 4 field goals, yet you blocked an extra point."
Yeah.
So but he complimented his team for not giving up and blocking an extra point. But when's the last time you've seen a high school football game with 4 field goals?
4 field goals.
And then defensive touchdown kind of with 13 seconds left. So, hey, it wasn't a pretty win.
So I didn't read the offense didn't do anything. It was, I can't say didn't do anything. They obviously drove the ball to the position where they could get field goals, but no offensive touchdowns, 4 field goals, and a defensive score.
Yeah, with like 10 seconds left.
And
then Southwest had like 3 or 4 possessions start inside the 40-yard line. Richlands is 40 because of turnovers, and capitalized just once.
Okay. Did you get Ken?
Yeah,
I'm assuming you went to the Southwest.
Yeah, I went to the game. Like you said, both defenses, played good football. On both sides, offensively wise, Richlands and Southwest just couldn't get it together. Richlands with the turnovers, and then Southwest with the new spread offense. You just tell, it was the first time.
Just going to take time.
It's going to take a little time.
Defenses develop quicker than offenses. We talked about that.
So, hopefully that'll move over.
All right, East Duplin 21, Waltersville nothing.
Yeah, I think they're maybe some of the Wallace guys went to the
to the Scotty McCreary concert. Yeah, maybe they showed up there. Jacksonville jumped out big early. Jacksonville 43, West Corrette 24. Dixon, how about Dixon? Pulls it off. Topsail scored late in the game, didn't they? And took the lead. Or they took the lead, didn't they?
Well, Dixon was up the entire game.
Yeah, the entire game.
And then they were up 2 scores, probably about 5 minutes left. Topsail scores a couple touchdowns, converted an onside kick. Dixon got the ball first in overtime and scored the 8 points. And then Topsail scored a touchdown and was denied. So, look, it's if you're Dixon, you would have preferred to win that game in regulation, but a win's a win. And Coach Davis, Kelly Davis, has done a great job getting those guys competitive.
Nice.
That's awesome. Great. South Columbus 27, Swansville 21. So that was a little bit closer than I think a lot of folks predicted. This one wasn't. Croatan 60, East Carteret 0. We talked about that. The kid from Croatan threw 5 touchdown passes. And I think they scored 6. Did I read your article? They scored 6 points in the first quarter and then just went freaking ballistic right in the second quarter. Sandhills Christian 32, Liberty 17, and ALA, American Leadership Academy, and that's not Alabama, ALA, even though they did throw it on Lejeune like Alabama be beating people. American Leadership 42, Lejeune nothing.
And shout out to our friend Scott Smith from the Sports Commission. He has close ties to Liberty Christian, and he was keeping me updated. And they were only down 12-10 at halftime. And I'm like, how in the world do you get 10 points in an 8-man game? Thinking it's a safety or something, and they kicked a field goal.
Oh, did they really? Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I saw Scott. Scott's pretty proud. I guess he's got one son that's injured and was out, and then his other son looked like he had a pretty good game. So and
they played well. The coach Sean Richmond said when I ran into him the other day, he said they actually played pretty well. You take away a pick 6 that Sandhill scored, they have the lead.
So really,
yeah. So they're coming along strong. I know people kind of snicker and think it's 8-man, it's Liberty, but those kids and those coaches staff have worked hard.
All right. Let's look at this coming week. Let's look at what we got. So Week 2, these are your predictions, and I'll let you go with there, and then I'm going to let get Kendrick's thoughts as well. We'll start out with we've got our game of the week coming, and you obviously, if folks are watching, they don't see obviously Jacksonville Northside. That's going to be our game of the week, so that's coming here in the end. So Richland 17, White Oak 14.
Yeah. I think another low-scoring game. White Oak kind of struggled offensively against Northside last week. Same thing with Richland struggling offensively. And I think the defenses are going to, be strong. So it's going to be a good game. It always is between the Vikings and Wildcats. But I give the Wildcats the edge.
All right. East Duplin 28, Princeton 13.
People forget that Princeton was the only team that beat East Duplin when they went to the state final, and we came close to that being another rematch, state championship rematch a few years ago. So Princeton's a dang good football team, but I think this East Duplin team is
battle.
What have you heard from?
Well, with Coach Holly, any team that he puts out there is gonna give you all they got, and with that quarterback that he has there, from what I've heard, pretty experienced guys. So I'm looking for East Duplin to make a good run this year.
And Kendrick has a little bit of experience making plays against East Duplin.
Yeah, I got it was. You know what? That's one of the teams I tell people I respected more than any. Like I said, those guys just came to play, and just as much as you was gonna hit them in the mouth, they gonna hit you in the mouth. That Zach Scholler had my helmet turned to the side at one time, and Coach Padgett was trying to give me a play call. I said, Coach, I'm sorry, but you got to call a timeout because I can't see right now. But yeah. I've always had respect for East Duplin, and now that they got Coach Holly, dude, I'm looking forward to seeing them make another good run here soon.
So do we call that game, that playoff game, the too much time game or something like that? Yeah, tell us that story.
So, we played East Duplin in the regular season, and smash mouth, good football game. We won. Playoff game. Boom, they scored. They drove down and scored with, I think it was like 2 minutes and 40-something seconds to go. And, everybody, is almost crying to the point because, we don't have no 2-minute offense. But I was back there smiling, and, I told the boys, I said, man, they gave me too much time.
Yeah.
And they was like, what are you talking about? Too much time? It's 2:46. We can't go score. And, and 4 plays later, boom, touchdown. We in the lead, and we got an interception, on a screen pass, and we won the ball game.
And then went on to win another state
title.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
I told them they gave me too much time. Coach Padgett did not like that.
and then Kendrick pretty much passes out right at the end of the game.
I did. I passed out walking to the locker room, just dehydrated. But what a football game that was.
So that was a Michael Jordan-esque flu game.
Yes, the collapse. Croatan 35, Topsail 21. Croatan looking to go 2-0. Topsail looking to bounce back after the overtime loss to Dixon. Dixon 32, Beddingfield 26. They're traveling to Wilson for the game, so that'll be interesting. We'll see that, and let's see. What else we got? We got Swansboro 42, Pamlico 7, and then we got Lakewood 36, Lejeune 12, and then we've got Community Christian 46, Liberty. So you're expecting a high scoring game once again, and Liberty throwing 24 on the board. All right. Any of those that I know I sped up a little bit. Any of those that you want to touch on a little bit?
Excuse me. Like I said, Richland's White Oak, I think is going to be a good game, but I wouldn't be surprised if White Oak comes back and plays motivated and gets a win. Like I said, Princeton is always going to be a tough game against East Duplin, but I think this, like Kendrick said, East Duplin is always well coached with Battle Holly and his staff. Croatan, they'll probably, all 5 of those touchdowns will probably be passing touchdowns again.
Will they?
Yeah, probably, because Cannon I think he's a good soccer player. I think he's the best soccer player, but he's a dang good basketball player too. And so he'll throw 5 touchdown passes and kick 5 extra points.
Yes, he will.
All right. So do you agree with my man's predictions? For the record, let me just tell you his predictions last week. 50-50. 50-50.
I'm gonna say White Oak's gonna beat
I
Richland.
think White Oak looked.
Yeah.
They didn't look very very good against Northside. And not taking anything away from Northside. I wasn't at the game, but I've heard. Actually, telling you guys off air, 30-minute conversation with my brother, who is a diehard White Oak guy. Obviously, his son Teddy played for Coach Bird when he was at White Oak, and so I got to hear about all the woes, but I think White Oak will bounce back. And I did not realize, because I will just tell you, didn't read your article, did not realize that Richlands didn't put an offensive score up on the board. Granted, they moved the ball; they had to move the ball in order to get the field goals. But anyway, so we'll see how it goes. So the recap that we just had, and these games are brought to you by SIA Group. For more than 50 years, SIA Group has provided protection beyond insurance, helping family, businesses, and communities preserve what matters most. They believe insurance isn't just about policy, it's about people. That's why SIA Group is committed to supporting local businesses and giving back to the communities they serve. Learn more at siagroup.com/prep report. How about that? Prep report. All right, man. Let's dive in now to the game of the week. We're going to dive into the game of the week here, and it's a good one. It's a good one. Jacksonville 1-0 at Northside 1-0. Just a couple little things that you had put in your article. Jacksonville leads the series 12-11. That includes the forfeit victory of 2015. So if not, it would be
12-11 Northside.
Yeah. They would be 12. The last time Northside won convincingly was 2019, 40-14. The score last year was it 64 to nothing? Yeah. Oof. Jacksonville scored on 2 kickoff returns in week 1 against West Carteret, and Northside got out to a 21-0 lead against White Oak. So we'll see. Both teams seem to got off to good starts in the first half. Keys to the game: Jacksonville's got a limit. We talked about him. He was our player of the week, Reginald Gray. And Northside, I'm interpreting this by what you put. Northside they got to watch turnovers because they can't give Jacksonville any extra opportunities with the ball, because it could just get bad if they do.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the thing that's hurt Northside in years past. They'll move the ball, but then some bad snap, a fumble when they've been driving will derail drive. So all of a sudden you're marching down the field, and you have the ball at the 30-yard line, and like I said, a bad play, and all of a sudden you're in 2nd and 15, and then next you throw an interception. So they're going to have to limit those mistakes. I mean, I know it's cliche, but limit those mistakes because Jacksonville is just too good to not to take advantage. So, but if you're Northside, you want to keep this game. I mean, you want to punch Jacksonville in the mouth early, and like you did last week against White Oak, and establish that control. And now Kendrick, you know this. I mean, if you're Jacksonville, okay, Northside came to play, and now those nerves start to kick in a little bit, and and then Northside's right an emotional high, and they can't do anything wrong. So if you're Jacksonville, you need to squash the bug pretty early.
I think a big part of this game is going to be special teams. A lot of high schools don't put emphasis on special teams. Like you said, Jacksonville scored 2 special team touchdowns last week. That's huge. I mean, when I got with Bush Davis, his biggest thing, he cared more about special teams than he did offense or defense. And when I started doing this coaching in high school and stuff like that, it's so many points that could be taken in special teams. I mean, that people don't really
and let's be honest, man. A lot of times, you have a tendency to, I don't want to say rest your best players, but you get some kids maybe that hadn't played a lot, or maybe playing football for the first time or whatever. Give them a little experience on kickoff or kickoff return or punt return. The only 2 times probably much like you, the only 2 times you probably never come off the field. The only 2 times I come off the field was on kickoff and punt because we needed somebody fast. And I was on there on punt return, and but kickoff return. But when they needed speed, I was not there. So let me ask you guys a couple questions about this. Jacksonville North Side matchup feels bigger than most years. I don't know why, it just does to me this year. Do you think this is the most anticipated meeting between the two in recent memory?
No, you can go first.
I believe so. Just because so many people right now is Jacksonville question is who is Jacksonville right now?
Yeah.
With the loss of Damon June going to college and quarterbacks going, so trying to find which quarterback they're going to use at Jacksonville. Are the running backs going to step up? Which I really do think Lil Pearson and them guys are going to be a good group after they get rolling. But and then you got Northside with that young group that's experienced now. They want to prove. And, they're very athletic. So I think it is one of the most, anticipated games in years with those two.
And we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Look, Kendric Pollock, coach for Northside, does a great job. I mean, they've had the toughest schedule in all the county the last 5-6 years, if not more. He knows his football. I've known him for 20-some years when we were with the semi-pro team together. And good quarterback, by the way. He's a former Jacksonville Cardinal. Yeah. But he knows his stuff, and but I think people have just waited and waited and waited for Northside to kind of return back to its glory days. And if Northside wins Friday night, I think it's still going to be a long haul because you still got to Havelock to take care of. Although Havelock lost to West Craven, so I mean, it would be very. I think the sky is the limit, or the ceiling is the roof.
All right.
If Northside wins,
continuing our deep dive into the Golden Corral game of the week. As I mentioned, well, last year Jacksonville won 64-0. They won 5 straight in the series. Does motivation on Northside's part not? Couple 5 years in a row, 64-0. Is there any additional motivation?
I think if you're Northside, I think it does play a part in it. But you also got to remember, I mean, a lot of these guys have graduated. So
yeah,
I mean, if Jacksonville still had Damon June and all those guys, I think the motivation for that would be a little bit bigger. But I mean, it's Jacksonville Northside. You don't need
if you're back. Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean. I just know somebody beat me and I came back. If they blank me, especially.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of
you didn't get blanked much.
No. Well, the year my was it freshman year? We went to East Duplin and they beat the brakes off of us that year. I don't know if they blanked them. It was close. And then we went back to East Duplin that next year and. You don't want to say it so much in the paper or something like that, but like you said, inside that head, you're thinking, "I'm coming back to get that revenge."
Was that the game that they kicked the field goal later? They did the drop. I mean the free kick.
Coach
or something.
Aldridge, he's gonna rub it in a little bit. I love him, but if he can get you, he's gonna get you a little bit. And but yeah,
apparently, I guess East Duplin was already on his way to a win, and they did a fair catch kick at the end toward the end of the game.
Yeah, and drop kick and pulled out one of that last page of the high school rule book. If you catch it, fair catch it, you can drop kick it. Yeah. All right, how about this? Reginald Gray, he obviously great game last week. He drives Northside, or at least he did. Game 1. What do you see as the key to him giving the Monarchs a real chance on this one?
Again, I mean, limit the turnovers, sustain those drives. Just get Jacksonville frustrated. I mean, Northside is. They have they like to throw the ball, but they deep, but they also can throw it short, and that's what it's gonna take to frustrate Jacksonville is those 5-yard pass plays and kind of run the ball by passing.
Yeah, my brother made the comment that Northside looked like they had some big boys on the front. Up front, they were able to run the ball, but is it going to be balanced? I mean, does it need to be balanced, Kendrick?
I think you're gonna have to because you're gonna want to keep Jacksonville off the field. Because Bo does a great job of managing the clock. So with his offense of so much not knowing exactly what their identity is right now, if you don't keep a balanced attack, which I'm really interested to watch Northside's receivers versus Jacksonville's secondary. There's a lot of athletic, on both sides. So I'm very looking. But yeah, to answer your question, I think you have to be balanced, and he has to have a good game. I'm saying he has to have 100 yards passing, 100 yards rushing to upset the Cardinals.
Okay.
And Coach Pollock was very excited about his receivers. He feels like he has 2, if not 3 receivers that can all get 1,000 yards receiving this year. So, Northside, like I said, Northside's going to have to just minimize the mistakes, not turn the ball over, and keep the ball. I know that's cliche and simple, but you're going to have to frustrate Jacksonville's defense and maybe make them make mistakes with some penalties and frustration penalties and things like that.
Well, your prediction is 34-27. Mm-hmm. You feel good about that?
I think so. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game.
So just let me just ask you this. So they gave up, and granted last week was a blowout, but they gave up 20 some odd last week, 24 last week, and now you're saying potentially 27 this week. All I've heard, and I'm rolling my eyes. The fans can't see me. The people watching can't see me because I've got this up, but I'm rolling. All I've heard is about Jacksonville's defense. Jacksonville's defense. Yeah. Well, they gave up 24 first week and 27. Granted, the game was out of hand. They scored 43. Tell me about Jacksonville's defense, man.
Again, I think a couple of those scores. One score came late.
Okay,
it was the last play of the game.
Again, I wasn't. Yeah.
But so let's say Jacksonville gave up 12 points in the second quarter. So, I think in high school football, we grew up. High school football was still kind of smash mouth football and things like that. But so many teams pass the ball now. I think it's you can still have a great defense and still give up points just because of the nature of the way the game is played today.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying. All right. Any further on this? We're gonna wind this up with the. I'm
gonna go say Jacksonville 35, Northside 28.
Okay. So high scoring game. Okay.
And if you look at scores from across the state, your smaller schools who typically will still run a lot will have lower score games. Yeah. But a lot of your old 4A, but I guess now 7A and 8A schools,
whatever it is,
because those games detail a lot of throwing, you're going to have a lot of 35-28 games, whereas maybe at the lower levels you're going to have some of those 16 to 12 games because the little bitty 1A schools don't have kickers and they all go for 2 anyway, and they run the ball. So
all right, Jacksonville 34, Northside 27. This game of the week spotlight is brought to you by Golden Corral. Dig into Golden Corral's famous buffet because it's the only one for everyone. Famous buffet with mouth-watering wings and boneless wings in a variety of flavors, but you need to save some room for over 20 bakery and dessert selections, from chocolate and carrot cake to apple pie and their legendary banana pudding. Start your morning with breakfast at 7:30, brunch at 10, and dinner at 4 with carved meats. I could just stay there all day long. How about that? Mm-hmm. And seniors, you can enjoy the early bird buffet. I don't know what the seniors are now. I may be qualified. I'm 56. Early bird buffet with a beverage at 1, and if you need to feed a crowd, they cater events from 10 to 1,000. Dine in, take out, drive through, or delivery. It's all at Golden Corral. Voted Jacksonville's #1 buffet 10 years running in the Daily News Best of Best. Yeah. Call 910-455-3773 or visit goldencorral.com today. So thank you, Billy Sewell, and thank you for your sponsorship, and thank you for featuring the game of the week for us. And we're back, and we got a guest. If you want to be if you want to be seen, you need to move between Kendric and Chris Miller. All right, well then grab that mic. He's off screen. Chris Rayner has joined us.
By the way, you're 57.
No, I'm 56. I'll be 57 December. So, oof on you. How about that?
Yeah, did want to thank Billy Sewell and Golden Corral, and I'm sure Golden Corral is getting a lot more business these days.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Rainer, you're still off screen. That's fine. It don't matter because you came late, so you get what's left.
I still got a face for radio.
That's exactly right. So thank you, Billy, for sponsoring the game of the week. We're going to wrap it up with the predictions. Then we're going to get to talk with Kendric a little bit. I got some rapid fire, and all three of you guys can answer. So just first thing that comes to your mind as we go. First question. Most exciting game of the week to slate. Go.
Jacksonville Northside.
Okay.
I'm gonna go off of West Craven, Wilson Prep.
Okay, that's fine. We don't have that up there, but no. You're fine. You bring something to this table that West Craven upset. Was it Havelock last week?
Yep.
7-0.
7-0. So that should be a game. Mr. Rayner, most exciting game next week since Southwest is off, or this week since Southwest is off. What's the most exciting game?
I think Jacksonville Northside. Yeah, with what Northside did to White Oak, I think that's gonna be a ball game there, buddy.
Okay. All right. Next for rapid fire. Which game will be closer than people expect?
Ooh. That's a tough one. I'm gonna go back to Northside Jacksonville. I think it's gonna be closer than people think. People think Jacksonville's gonna roll over them. I think it's gonna be a close game.
All right.
I'm gonna go that Dixon versus Bedingfield game.
All right. I'm going White Oak and Richlands. I think that'll be close.
That's the one I hope is closer because I hope that means that it wasn't a fluke last Friday night. Yeah, I think Richlands is a little better. That quarterback's pretty good, so I think that'll be a little closer game than what people expected, especially at the start of the year.
All right. One player to watch Friday night besides the gray kid from Northside. Anybody have a week last week, Chris, that you can think of watching? The Croatan quarterback, maybe?
Well, yeah, I think that, but I think the Richlands quarterback, CJ, like Chris was saying, I mean, he threw for over 100 yards and had a pretty good completion percentage. I think he had one interception. One of those turnovers that Richlands had, but I'm looking at the roster. I'm like, where in the world did this kid come from? And so he's a good passer, and he's only going to get better.
Kendrick?
I'm going to go DJ. He's a corner for Jacksonville. He'll be in the starting role this week. So seeing him against the Northside receivers is going to be a good matchup. That's the little brother of Mike.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Nice, sir.
And quick shout out to JJ Gulot from Dixon, rushed for over almost 300 yards for Dixon last week against Topsail.
How did you – I mean, again, the gray kid had a great game, 4 touchdowns. Anybody breaks the 3 mark has got to be – did you have a runner-up? Maybe we give – hey, let me ask you this. Can kids – and so Billy Sewell's going to be giving us, even though he's the game sponsor, he's going to be giving us some Golden Corral gift cards. Mm-hmm. Can kids accept those things? I don't know. We'll find out if they can accept them.
Last person to ask about
we need to find out about that. If a coach is watching it, the gift cards are like $25. Coaches, let us know because we like to compensate the kids if they can get it and NIL it or do whatever they got to do with it. Rainer, who you think to watch?
I agree with the kid from Dixon. I mean, that's pretty impressive, especially against Topsail, who's been, when was the last time Dixon beat Topsail, was it?
They hadn't beaten him since like 98.
All right.
So, and, player of the week, has to.
I'm just giving you grief. It's your show. You pick whoever you want.
Thank you for letting me pick.
The Chris Miller show.
The Chris Miller show. All right. Over and under. Over or under?
Brought to you by Steve Goodson.
No, yeah. That's tonight. We're doing the 2-minute 6-pack podcast tonight at 7:30.
So come on back.
So come on back. Dixon scores 30 points again this week. Over or under?
Over.
I'm gonna go over as well.
Over. All right. More exciting to cover, Chris, or to watch? A defensive slugfest or a 42-40 shootout?
It's fun to watch those high-scoring games, but professionally, I prefer the low-scoring games because it makes it easier to keep stats.
Yeah,
especially if you have to take photos.
I was going to say, dude, with this new speed up, hurry up offense, man, trying to calculate, get yards and get all that stuff.
Oh, trust me, when Southwest used to do the smash mouth, ball control, East Duplin, you can do all your stats within between plays. Jacksonville, you have to hurry up. It's just no.
Wow.
Yeah, so I prefer those 7-0.
Slugfest. You prefer well, I mean, you're a defensive guy, man.
But I like the defense because that means there's gonna be some hitting going on.
All right.
And so I like the hitting.
All right, Mr. Rayner.
Defense.
All right, that comes down good. All right. Well, this rapid fire section was brought to you by Moore Buick GMC. Right here in Jacksonville, they're more than just selling cars. It's about serving our community. Charles Williamson and his folks are proud to support local schools, charities, and events while helping families find the perfect Buick or GMC to fit their lives. From rugged GMC trucks to luxurious Buick SUVs, you'll find a wide selection backed by friendly service you can trust. Whether you're buying, leasing, or servicing your vehicle, you'll always be treated like family. More Buick Pontiac GMC, driven by community, powered by trust. Visit us today at our location on Western Boulevard in Jacksonville or online at morebuickgmc.com. We're getting bills paid, man. We are knocking out.
Yeah. And while Chris Rayner's here, I do have to compliment him for that playlist during the game last week. That was some.
Was he cutting it up last week?
Some nice music. One request: if high schools can stop playing AC/DC and Guns N' Roses before games, those bands were not cool then.
Hey.
And they're not cool now. Give me some Nirvana. Give me some Bon Jovi. Give me some of those bands. But enough with the AC/DC and Guns N' Roses.
Well, I think you're not cool for liking AC.
Oh, me.
I told you we have to spice up the show a little bit.
That's right. Well, let's transition. Oh, I just dropped my papers. So let's transition into this is going to be an awesome segment here. Let's talk. We're going to talk with Kendric about Kendric things, right? Mm-hmm. So if those who maybe just don't know, you just don't know who this guy sitting to my left is, two to my left. Hometown star from Onslow County, went on to play at North Carolina was Butch wasn't there the whole time, was he?
And I had Bunting the first year.
Bunting the first year.
Me.
Yeah. Standout defensive back, Kendric Burney. Just a couple highlights. Top 100 male athlete to remember by the North Carolina High School Athletics Association. I think that was in 2013, maybe, or the centennial anniversary of something like that. He earned the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Male Athlete of the Year's honors in the 2005-06 academic year. He was football, basketball, and baseball standout star, like I had said, from Southwest, and was the MVP of the 2004 state championship game as a QB and DB that y'all did win.
Yes, sir.
Who'd you beat?
We beat Shelby. Yeah.
No. Were you there at the game in the stands?
Yeah, and you just come off 03 when he beat
Cummings.
Burlington Cummings, and then 04 Shelby.
Yeah. So 4-year starter at Carolina, 44 games, recorded over 210 tackles, 211 tackles, 11 interceptions, 3 for touchdowns.
2 in one game. Well, 2.5. Remember that?
Yeah. We like to go to the house with it.
0.5.
Earned all ACC honors and national recognition for his defensive skills. I'm assuming you got to still hold this record.
Oh, yeah, the most interceptions.
Big defensive plays. You set the UNC record for, in one game, 170 interception return yards in a single game versus Miami in 2009.
We were there that game, too.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, Kendric, let's start, man. We're going to start here. Growing up in Onslow County, what role did football and the community play in your life growing up, man?
It was huge. The Southwest community, that's what football was life. You had Coach Padgett, leading the troops. So, from the Pee-wees on, only thing you couldn't do was wait to get to Southwest High School to put on one of those football jerseys. Pretty much you waited all week, as a kid, so you can go watch Friday Night Football. So football was everything. Where I was from, Merle Hill, Greytown, a lot of greats come out of Greytown. So, that was just something that we knew, like it was football.
So you mentioned Phil. I know Phil played a significant role in your life. Phil, for those that are watching or may watch later, you guys may not know, but our other podcast, the 2 Men to Six Pack, where we are a lot less serious. We have fun. We probably say some things we shouldn't say. We drink a little beer and we do various things. Phil was one of the original members of that. He was on our show, and you've been on the show. I think everybody here has been on the show, but we know what role Phil played in your life. But talk about some of the other, and mention maybe some other coaches or teammates or mentors that played a significant role in your journey, man. And it could be high school and or college.
Yeah. What was amazing about Southwest is that each coach touched you in different ways. Like you say, football wise, you had, of course, Coach Padgett, but then you had, Tommy Barnes, who was the defensive coach, who pretty much set you straight. He didn't let anything go by. He always, would tell you how it was, straight like it was. There was no sugarcoating with him.
Yep.
Then, you had my baseball coach, who offensive coordinator, Eric Leary. Me and him butted heads more than probably anybody. But the respect and love that we had for each other was like no other. So, just those guys. And you had Coach McLeod, who was my quarterback coach. Yep. One of the smartest men I can say, football X's and O's wise. I think he ranks up there as far as the knowledge of football with any of my college or NFL coaches. Just that's how smart I think Coach McLeod is. And the other coaches, you had Coach Price, Jeff Cobb. I never really got with Coach Easton, but I was always at the school when I was younger.
Yeah.
So meeting all those guys, just all of them just had, their own touch of me, and I can't be nothing but grateful for the assistant coaches that Coach Padgett brought along.
Okay, off script. Mm-hmm. Would you rather play offense? Offense or defense in high school? Which one did you like better?
In high school?
Yeah, in high school.
In high school, I like I got to play quarterback.
Yeah, play quarterback.
Run the option.
Yeah.
That was, when Coach Padgett finally decided that we were going to run the option, I wanted to be the quarterback all the time there, So, yeah, it's a no-brainer, like not even close.
Okay, good.
Let me interject one thing. This dude was evil, man. When at quarterback, he would lead the entire defense to the left side and do that cutback. You know what I'm talking about? Like against East Duplin, Shelby, there was one like that in the championship game. And they all suck in, and then next thing you know, he's cutting back the other way. Yeah. And just mean. It's mean to the other people.
You would see it on tape, though. I watched a lot of tape. People didn't realize that even in high school, I watched a lot of tape.
I used to watch, growing up, man, Oklahoma used to run to Wishbone. Oh, yeah. They had a dude named J.C. Watts playing quarterback, who went on to become a U.S. state senator in D.C., but J.C. Watts used to run to Wishbone for Oklahoma, and he had this dude in the backfield that pretty good. His name was Billy Sims. So I mean, I used to love watching the Wishbone.
Now, Steve, this is another name from mine in your era, Jamel Holloway.
Jamel Holloway.
Remember that dude running the bone at Oklahoma?
At
he
Oklahoma.
Was the quarterback.
Yeah, he was after. Well, maybe it may have been.
He was there about roughly the same time, late mid-'80s, right along.
So either the quarterback was, and I said it was J.C. Watts. It was either J.C. Watts or Jamel Holloway. I think Holloway
may have been right behind.
Fell after Billy Sims and them, but yeah, I mean that was good.
And Kendrick didn't make many friends from South Lenore either.
No, they ran that play, and I don't know if they scored on it, but they got a good. But they were fresh into our conference that year. They were undefeated. Remember the hurricane came, so we didn't play them till that Monday night. Well, I played baseball with a couple of those guys, and they were calling my phone, talking a little smack. So like I said, the kid caught the ball the first time, and it was kind of my fault. They came out in the same formation like 3-4 plays later, and when he came across the middle, I wasn't looking for the ball. I was just looking for him. And next thing you know, the helmet was one way, shoulder pads was broke.
That kind of thing happened.
It's just, of course, if that happened now, you'd be kicked out for 2
games. I might.
If you talk, yeah.
I was going to send just a message.
Oh, but they,
Yeah.
So you transitioned Carolina. Time came to go to school. What made the choice, Carolina? Were you always a Carolina guy growing up, or what? What was the big choice?
I always loved Carolina. Don't get me wrong. But I actually was a Florida State guy.
Yeah.
Just loved they had a lot of two-sport guys that was at Florida State. And and I just always grew up, a Seminole, the Charlie Wards, the Deion Sanders, but that was a long way from home, a long way
a
from
long
home.
way.
So
And you may have thought about this, or maybe you didn't, but when you play like that, and I know your daddy.
Oh yeah.
If you played in Florida, if you'd have played in China, he'd have gone every week to watch you play in China. He'd have found a way to go. So Tallahassee was a ways, and then you might have gone, around. But Tyrone, he would have made it. But being in Chapel Hill, you can hop in the car and be up there 2.5 hours.
And I'm a big family guy,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that was huge for the family to get to come watch a lot of games. And then, like you said, playing both sports.
Yeah.
So I knew I was going to have to lean on
Fox
family.
was the coach.
Yes. And
Yeah.
people don't realize I committed to play baseball first. I was honestly thinking about not playing football at all. But as recruiting came on, and Deontay pretty much was like, "Look, we're gonna be a package deal. Like, let's go play together." And that ultimately came down to me playing football.
But you were still on the baseball team one of the years they went to the College World Series.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Because I see you were one of the first ones running that. Running that dugout when they won.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
remember that. Yeah. So besides your performance in against Miami, favorite memory or game that sticks out to you?
Man, we had a good amount. I would have to say, we played Boston College home. I want to say my sophomore year. I had 2 picks against them as well. Should have had like three or four.
Yeah.
But just that game, going to Doak at Florida State, beating them, beating Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech on a Thursday night.
Listen to Sam, man.
Dude,
that
is.
I'm telling you,
absolutely.
that I bucket list that I bucket listed 100%. That about 3 years ago or 4 years ago.
100%. I don't care if you go just for that part and leave.
Yeah.
You'll be satisfied.
Yeah.
I mean, that entrance is
epic.
But they shouldn't be playing those old rock and roll songs at football games.
Well, that's a Metallica song. It's not AC/DC.
But it's still an older rock and roll.
No, Metallica is
40 years old.
It's cool.
Yeah,
Guns N' Roses and AC/DC are cool.
Yeah, like you said, we got to have the spikes.
Give me some Nirvana and some Metallica, like some Bon Jovi, but not.
Give me some Wham or something for you.
Give me some Oasis, because that's where I was Sunday night. I didn't go to a concert. I went to a show. But anyway, toughest player you lined up against while you were at Carolina?
Ooh,
or a couple.
Man.
So that would probably be a wide receiver, potentially a running back or something.
My teammates. I mean, I had Hakeem Nicks.
Yep.
Brandon Tate. A guy named Brooks Foster, Greg Little, Dwight Jones. And just going against those guys at practice, games really felt easy.
Easy.
I would go, the guy at Miami, Leonard Hankerson. Back in the day, there was an Eddie Royal at
Virginia Tech.
Who was, inside
who was
hell.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Hankerson was
6'4".
Yeah, he was a
big boy.
Yeah,
big boy.
Go.
Which I like. You would think, with my frame of 5'9", I would rather guard them all day long than those 5'9" my size that's quick. But yeah, then as professional, line against Steve Smith every day was a learning experience. Yes, sir. But
he's one of those guys like you talked about that side.
Yes, but he taught me so much. Me and him developed a relationship that I say he was one of the best mentors that I could ask for.
Yeah, that was experience. I remember we went up to a game and I would get preseason or season sideline passes, and we saw you on the side. You were I guess you were maybe on the practice squad.
Yeah, practice squad. Yeah.
The practice squad, and Gray was he was tickled. I got a picture of Gray, who was about 10, 11 years old, standing beside you, and Gray was about Gray was tall for his age. But last question about college. Well, no, I'll come up with another one. What did it mean to you personally to put on that Carolina blue jersey every Saturday?
Man, it meant the world. Just because you watch as a kid, you watched the DeMarcus Jones, the Greg Ellis. You just knew, bringing Carolina back to its football glory days. We were on that track until things happened. But the fact of being there, it was like me growing to high school, putting on that Southwest jersey, putting on that Carolina jersey meant just as much to me because to me ain't nothing better than that Tar Heel blue. You know, so putting on that Carolina blue, running out there and seeing, you know, Kenan Stadium live was, I mean, that's God's glory.
Yep, I agree with you. What was your record? Four games against State. What was your record? Do you remember?
I don't think we played State for 4 years at all.
You didn't?
I don't think we played State at all 4
Oh,
years.
was that when Sheridan was there?
No, we had Russell all 4 years.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, let's move on from that one then. Let's move on. We're going to talk a little about State tonight. They got there is a big one big one tomorrow night. Last question that I want: young athletes in Onslow County, regardless of what they play, man, it doesn't matter, but they're dreaming about playing a sport at the next level. What's your best advice to them?
You know, the thing is, you know, kids nowadays they think that you know, you're only supposed to play one sport. You're not gonna be as successful as you think you are just playing one sport. You have to go out and try other sports, and not so much for just to play the sport, but getting different muscles to move in a different kind of way. What people didn't realize, me as a corner, if I didn't play basketball, learn how to slide my feet, you know, boom, I don't know how to press coverage.
Yeah.
Baseball wise, if you can track down a ball in the outfield, you can track down any football there is.
And I hate it. Everybody knows I hate Major League Baseball. I like college baseball, but it probably, and I got back in playing Little League, I got hit by a pitch and I was like, screw this, man. If I'm going to hit, I'm going to throw on pads, right? Baseball probably helps you develop hand-eye coordination better than anything else, right?
Well, I tell people, you can take a football player and you can go out and take a tennis ball and throw it high in the sky. Probably 75% of football players can't catch that fly ball. And that comes with the hand-eye coordination and just ball skills.
I remember too. I'd like to see you play soccer. I remember you training. You were out at the old OCSA complex with Cam.
That was my training.
And my son Gray was out there training, and y'all trained a little bit together. You set out the cones it was actually the ladders, and it was working on the feet. And you had done it before, but soccer players do that all the time. And Gray came through, and we got in the car, and Gray was like, "Dad, Kendric was struggling a little bit with that foot, with the ladders." I was like, "Well, son, you've done them." He was probably 10 or 11 years old. I said, "Son, you've done it since you were 5, 6 years old." It's like, it's second nature. But every sport, and that's great advice to kids. Too many times parents think they need to slingshot and focus on this, and okay. But what happens if little Johnny don't make it to there, or little Susie don't? And then you kind of deprive them of just that camaraderie, right?
I got another Kendrick story. You remember John Anderson from Richlands?
Oh man, yes, I know the story.
I ran into his dad at the touchdown this past year, and was asking. I was like, "Yeah, do you remember Kendric Burney?" He goes, "Yeah, we still remember that story." So I don't know if you wanted to tell the story.
So the touchstone, the baseball,
the spring break baseball thing.
So I was real good friends with a lot of guys from Richlands. John Anderson Dad just bought him a brand new about $350 bat. Man, he didn't get a hit with that thing at all. And so I said, "Hey, look, can I swing it? Let me just get a swing with it." First at bat, I hit a bomb. Man, his dad said, "You just keep the bat. I don't get it, Johnny, man." And do that bat, but that was a really good bat as well. But he was like, "Don't get that bat."
Oh, he was mad.
He was mad. He was mad. I felt bad for Johnny because his dad had some good choice words for him.
Did you keep the bat?
Nah. I used it a little bit longer though. I did use it a little bit longer.
Well, Kendrick, this has been awesome. Listen, we're gonna do. I'm gonna do a rapid fire for you now. You two yahoos, just sit here and be quiet. This is geared towards Kendrick. Rapid fire. Better game day atmosphere. High school football nights in the Corral, or Saturdays in Kenan Stadium? Honestly,
ain't nothing like Friday night.
Ain't nothing like
it. Yeah, when we were rolling like that, there's nothing like it.
Favorite teammate at UNC?
Deontay Williams.
Favorite teammate at Southwest?
Krishan Brooks.
Most brutal workout you ever went through at Carolina?
The first day of summer workouts
Was always brutal.
the sand, the 2 hours in the weight room, 2 hours outside. I called my mama and told her to come get me.
Was that the first time or every year?
No, it was just that first time.
Okay.
That first time, just no matter what you do, you're not gonna be prepared for it. Not that first day.
Yeah. Favorite Carolina football tradition?
The well walk.
The well walk.
Yeah, well walk.
That's back this year.
Yep.
I just just being able to, for fans to see you and you getting to see the fans. Because normally you don't get to do. When I'm after the game, I'm ready to get to the car, ready to go. And so being able to do that well walk, being able to see the kids and high five and stuff like that, and we're in our relaxed spot right there. So we're able to actually show our characters with those kids was, something I will remember.
Off script, last question. Bill Belichick, thumbs up and thoughts?
I do think he's going to do a good job. I hope, since there's so much money in college football now, I don't know if they'll give him the time to be great, because I think it's going to take 2 years, 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I agree.
With money, with the way portal goes, it's going to take a couple years, but I don't know if, like I said, with the money situation, if the Carolina people are willing to wait.
Yeah.
And that's the nature of the business.
That's the nature of the business now. Guys, questions? Anything to fill it out?
I got one for him.
Okay.
You talked about some of the players you went up against that made you better and tougher to go against. You mentioned Brandon Tate.
Yes.
Teammate, of course. He wasn't always a teammate.
No.
Do you remember your first encounter with Mr. Tate?
Yes, that was that Burlington Cummins. Now I'm not sure. I have not watched it. Was it him that I hit, or was it
Barry?
See, that's the thing. I'm not sure.
I think it was Brandon, because Brandon didn't come back the rest of the game.
He didn't come back.
You put him out for the game. A hit, that legal hit going at him.
Yes.
He was inbounds, hit him, shellacked him, and he didn't come back. And that was a big part of their offense. The greatest show on
they were good.
dirt, they called it, turf,
They were good.
The quarterback had never lost, remember?
Never lost.
Until that game.
Until they
ran
into them stats.
Then in a couple of years, your teammates with him. What was your first meeting with him as a teammate?
We joked, and
Do you remember?
Yeah, he remembered because he told me for us to have the boys the size that we had, when football players in high school were huge. We had the Samoans, we had, we had O-line, D-line in two-way football. Just the size and how fast we were. Brandon told me that they didn't see that incoming, up there in Burlington. They was just not ready for how physical and fast, our Southwest football team was that year. But I don't think anybody was that year of that 03 football team. I mean, that squad was pretty legit.
Not only went 16-0, but beat 4 teams that were 11-0 or better at the time, or 10-0 or better at the time. Richlands was the first one, and then 3 others after that.
You got something?
All right. Beating Duke or beating NC State? Which one means more?
Well, we didn't get to beat NC State at all. We lost all 4 years to them. I think it'd have been more to beat NC State. Because to me, Duke was, I think they always just lived off the fact that they're from the Bull City.
Yeah.
So we always joked about Duke, trying to act way more tougher than they really were.
Yeah.
NC State, we wanted to beat them, but Russell Wilson was Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about that. We had him, we would have him, and then Russell would do Russell things, and it shows with the 10-year career he's having so far right here. He's a great.
And for the record, he claims Wisconsin, not NC State.
Yeah.
Do you think the state coach at the time regrets that decision, not letting him play baseball and keeping him?
Oh, 100%.
I never should have let him get home.
100%. I mean,
he'd have been there if they'd have let him do baseball. So
Well, just like people don't know, if Avent didn't come in my grandma's house cussing, shoot, half of the baseball team that went to Carolina probably would have been at NC State.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I think we beat him up pretty good.
Did. Kendrick, man, that was awesome, buddy. Thank you so much, man.
Number love.
And listen, that's just like Kendrick is a community-minded fella, and everybody sitting around here is Marine Federal. They're our show sponsor. And just remember, when you're a member of Marine Federal, you're more than a member. You're part of the community. With personalized service, competitive rates, and a commitment to your goals, Marine Federal is here to help you thrive every step of the way. Visit marinefederal.org to learn more and discover how Marine Federal Credit Union can help you build a better financial future. Well, folks, this is going to wrap it up. Kendrick, thank you, buddy, so much.
Appreciate y'all.
Mr. Miller, thank you for letting me host your show.
Oh, thank you for hosting it.
I appreciate it. Let's hope your predictions this week are a little bit. You went about 500.
Yeah, and the Richlands folks did let me hear about it when I picked them going 3-7. Again, all in fun and
Terrible.
yeah. But they said, "What do you think about us going 3-7 now?" Was that?
And Rainer, thank you for showing up. I know you have a commitment on Wednesdays. You told me the only way that we'll move from 12 o'clock to back to 1 is if this man wants to do it, but we'll figure that one out. But thank you for coming. I'll see you later tonight. For those who are watching, if you're sitting around eating dinner, so we entertained you during lunch. So if you want to be entertained, if you're eating a late dinner,
We'll call it supper.
yeah, we'll call it supper. We're the two men.
Supper with Steve.
Supper with Steve, yeah. The 2 men, the 6-pack, who normally we do our show on Sunday nights. I was out of town this past Sunday night, and we just cannot do a show before this Saturday, before college football. We get so many really good games, so we've got to get together and do a show. So we're doing it tonight, and then we'll be back on Sunday. But again, I just wanted to just thank the community, thank the businesses that have stepped up and helped sponsor this show. Of course, our title sponsor, Marine Federal Credit Union, and Jeff Clark. Thanks so much. Down East Heaton in there, Jason Humphrey, and of course Billy Sewell with Golden Corral, and then SIA Group and Moore Buick GMC. Thank you guys so much. So for Chris Miller, I'm Steve Goodson. Thanks for listening, and we will see you under the Friday night lights.